Hello, my name is Rapisad. It is 2:50 p.m., July 7th, 2020. And trying to get the computer here set up. My webcam on my new computer is not working on YouTube. So I had fixed it. It was a browser problem. And then when I tried using it the next time, it was disconnected. So I'm not quite sure what went on there. So still haven't gotten the time to fix it. So I'm sitting home uh, um, studying the stock market. Um, it's very interesting what is going on in the stock market. It's a very good good way to keep your pulse on what's going on around the world economically. But everything feeds into the economics. So really, if you keep your pulse on it, the economics that's going on, or rather the economic activity that's going on, then you pretty much have a pulse on the world. You get a global snapshot. So anyway, I posted a bunch of tweets today about what went on outside my window. And I also posted some blood pressure readings. And I'd like to show you what my blood pressure reading is right now. So I took this just before I started talking. Perfectly normal. So when I posted the blood pressure readings, that happened right around the time that there was so much talk outside the window, so much harassment outside the window. At the same time, the microwave detector was alarming. So just to give you a sample, see the blood pressure is low, well, normal, I should say. Notice it's not alarming. All right, it's not alarming. Not alarming. So the blood pressure, 115/68. The 68 is a little bit on the lower side, but 115 is perfectly normal and 78 is perfectly normal because I didn't have any physical activity other than walking inside of my unit. So, I mean, my unit is not very big, it's about 1,000 square feet. So there isn't a whole lot of walking going on one level. There are no steps or anything. So whatever heart rate increase is, or steep increases, I should say, is a direct result of being hit with microwave beams and being verbally harassed. There is no other factor. If the blood pressure readings were due to things like caffeine, um, it wouldn't fluctuate so wildly. So 125/74. So let's see if the readings changed. So there are readings, but it's not triggering the alarm. It's not zero. See there? There you go. So it's on and off on a scale of numbers. So it's not completely off. So when my chest is scanned on an on and off basis, I get this heartburn like sensation. And it does feel like heartburn. It feels like something is burning inside of you. That's because the microwaves or the lasers sometimes are being used, or some form of laser. Um, it penetrates your body and it creates heat inside of your body and it burns your body. It cooks your insides. So many a time there are comments outside the window by the contractors that we're going to turn up the power. So when the power is turned up and that it's combined with verbal harassment that I posted, of course, your blood pressure is going to increase. And if you have any minor heart condition, it will exaggerate it and you can get heart attacks. Being a target, heart attacks will not be diagnosed. In my case, heart attacks will not be diagnosed. If you are a target, everybody knows that you're being experimented on. And when the experiments are finished, and that includes being trafficked and being customized, customizing to clients remotely um, is um, is part of the experimentation, is because every new person that logs into you wants you customized to his taste. So the experiment is to brain and train and to imprint this new person on you. So there are various ways of doing that: verbal harassment, getting your attention, being abusive, getting your attention and inflicting pain. That's a part of imprinting. These are external. These are external stimuli, triggers. There are also internal triggers, microwaves, external, of course. So while you're sleeping, there are triggers as well. There are dream manipulation. We have technology now, and we're going to hear this very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. It's going to come up in the mainstream media, where images are pulsed into your head, and along with those images and dream, well, quote unquote, dream sequences, which is really not, they're not really dreams. They're projected images and incidents into your head. And we're going to be talking about this very, like I said, this is mainstream news already in a lot of cases. Well, okay, so let me backtrack. It's almost mainstream news. It is going to be mainstream news very, 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 very soon, because everything is virtual. It's going to come up front. It's going to come. The elephant in the room is going to become visible, in other words. As I was saying, the images are projected, and then your body is stimulated remotely. So the two combines to make a program that is geared towards training you, putting a sequence of triggers to program you a certain way, much like a computer. So that programming would be imprinted along with the person. So the person who is trying to imprint you is the person you're being customized to. So the person outside the window who's being extremely abusive, because it is a sadomasochistic a program, this has absolutely, absolutely, absolutely nothing to do with any positive feeling whatsoever. I heard one of the harassers outside the window says, "I love you." Let me tell you, it's just a complete opposite of love. This is a satanic program. It's a satanic agenda that's driving this sort of behavior. Keep in mind, we have 5G, so the people outside the window are most likely being the people outside the window is most likely being affected by signals. They're being driven. They're being controlled. Um, and yes, it is frightening when they start talking about, big dicks and so on, because you don't know who's behind it, who's controlling those words that's coming out of the mouths. Because as PK, the Chinese trafficker, said, he has people looking, and part of the looking is tracking with microwaves. And when you hit people with microwaves, you don't have, if the person is not very intelligent and doesn't have control over himself, is not disciplined mentally, emotionally, psychologically. If the person is not disciplined, then you have no way of controlling how that person is going to react outside of the program. Because remember, you're running a program, but you really don't know what the outcome of the program is going to be. You're hoping it's going to be a certain way. There is no guarantee that it's going to be that way. Harassers are often, very, very often, targets themselves. So, so the images, to go back to point, so the images are projected into your head as you sleep. So these are internal stimuli as versus external. This is what I tweet about during the night. Around 11 o'clock, there is somebody in the loading dock, and the loading dock is supposed to be closed. So the person in the loading dock logs on to you. And logging on is going to be a very common term coming in very, very close in the future, in time. It's almost here. Logging into people. The term logging into people is going to be a very, very common term used in mainstream media very, very soon. That's what I meant to say. So the person in loading dock logs in, and around the unit and around the building, there are antennas, just like the one outside the window. And I think I posted a picture. It's a tower, a mini tower, with a lot of antennas. So somewhere around the unit, or maybe in multiple locations, there are smaller antennas that focuses on the target as they sleep, and using a computer can focus in on certain parts of your body with a computerized accuracy. So it could be your eyes, it could be the lens in your eyes, it could be a certain part of your kidney. And these people mean business. They're not playing around. When you hear a comment, somebody asks for the person's kidney, then you're going to lose the kidney, because as you sleep, they're going to pulse the kidney with these signals, and it's going to get inflamed, or it's going to, like overnight, you go to bed feeling fine with all your kidney functions, and you get up the next morning and you don't have any. It's just like a heart attack. You go to bed feeling fine, and during the night you get a heart attack. That's because they are pulsing the heart with signals, electrical signals that will stop the heart. They could also collapse lungs, collapse organs, the walls of the organs. They can collapse the muscle in the heart. They can collapse the lungs. A lot of internal damage, lacerations, internal bleeding. These people mean business. They're traffickers. There's trillions of dollars riding on this program, training program. So I'm a whistleblower, obviously, so I'm going to be bombarded, and I'm going to be disposed of eventually. Eventually, I am positive that I'm going to die as a result of all this harassment with these signals. If I wasn't harassed with any of these signals, I would be in perfect shape. I would have absolutely nothing wrong with me, and age would not have an effect on me, because I do everything right. I work out when the gym was open. The gyms have been closed for so long, and I put on weight, which is not something I should be doing. I do everything right to keep myself in good shape. I would always work out, even in my late 50s. I go to the gym for a couple hours, go to the sauna, and keep in good shape. So I had no diseases, absolutely no diseases until the power was turned up. And then suddenly you're pre-diabetic and you're overweight and and all your hormones are gone. And, and then the doctor says to you, well, you're menopausal or you're postmenopausal or you're you know, if you take care of yourself, you can go through menopause and not even see a difference in your body if you take good care of yourself. We live in a society where we always believe what the doctors say. Well, right now in our society, what's going on with COVID, we are starting to realize that the doctors work for the government, and the government doesn't always tell us what's true. So the doctors who are working with the government, and if you're being experimented on and infiltrated people in the government are doing the experiment, and the doctors are not going to tell you the truth either. Is COVID-19 a grand experiment? Because if the answer to that question is yes, then you're not being told the truth. You're getting bamboozled, just like I am. One day I'm told one thing, the other day I'm told something else. The doctors did that to me. Specialists did that to me. I had a heart doctor say to me, I saw you 10 years ago. I remember that. So I said, yeah, you said I had a valve issue that a whole lot of people have, and it's not a big deal. He said, I didn't never told you that. And my family doctor got the report to prove that, and he denied it. But so the doctors flip flop as well. So if you're a target, this is what happens. So if COVID-19 is a grand experiment, then we're not being told the truth, and we're going to be bamboozled. It's like, wear a mask, don't wear a mask. The World Health Organization. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. And all sorts of figures that is being manipulated. 132 died overnight. But was it really from COVID-19? What is the test for COVID-19? What is it exactly that you're testing for the test to become positive? These things are up in the air as far as I'm concerned. Because one day it's one answer, and the next day it's something else. We are being bamboozled, which is another sign that it may be an experiment to take away our personal power and have government dictate to us in our private lives, micromanage us, put a chip in us, track us, of course, traffic us as well. Trafficking can mean a whole lot of things. If you have a remote manager looking at you 24/7, and the managers change hands, then you're being trafficked. That's trafficking, because somebody's invading your privacy, and that is being handed over to other people, which is coming, and which is exactly what is part of the program that is being run on me. So what I'm experiencing is in the works to be done to everybody in the world. Do you want that happen? Do you want to be enslaved? Because obviously I don't. And I will speak up against it and act against it until I die. Nobody should be enslaved. And enslavement comes in many, many, many forms. And it could be prettied up in words and presented to the person, to the victim, in many ways, so that the victims do not recognize that he or she is being enslaved. COVID-19, wear a mask, it's mandatory. Wear a mask, it's mandatory. But we're not going to charge you if if you're caught without it in a public space, an enclosed public space. until, of course, they start charging you, and that's going to change too. So then it's going to really be mandatory. So they're easing it in. So I can't wear a mask, and I'm going to assume that a whole lot of other people cannot wear masks as well. Plus, it really does. I am going to buy an oximeter and measure the oxygen level in your blood, in my blood, when I wear a mask. If your oxygen level drops, then that's illegal. That's attempted murder. If the government is mandating that you do something that is harmful to yourself, then obviously it's attempted murder. So here is the blood pressure, and the liver, just on the side, and the kidney area and the obliques are being hit. On a lower, oh, here we go. There it is right there. So that's why you saw the blood pressure changed. So what was it before? It was 125/74. So it was what, and now it's 122/86. So the lower number increased, which is the pressure between pulses. So I just wanted to put my face on this video and to show that there is no emergency, because when I'm being framed this way with the microwaves and the harassment, the experimenter is actually trying to get you to switch, quote unquote. And switching means to get a reaction. And the reaction is going to be recorded and presented as evidence that you're mentally ill, that something is wrong with you. So what I recorded outside the window with the harassers and the blood pressure measurements, and I didn't show the microwave signals, but it was high. This is the way the experimenters switches the victims and set them up and frame them. It's a constant terrorization outside the window. Constant. It's going on for weeks now. So there is no emergency. I heard outside the window that they intend to take me out in a bag, in a body bag. I heard that Carlos is the manager. He chose me from the names on the list. And the people outside the window means business. It's all fixed, calling the names of the cops that they're fixing it with. There's a charge on the books. I will be evicted and mentally committed, and my property will be taken away from me. These are the conversations held outside the window by the contractors constantly. Then on the other side of that is, I was with my girlfriend this morning. I fucked with her. I could see her. So what happens when they come on site is they log on, just like the person in the loading dock logs on, all times of night. And I know that because the loading dock is supposed to be closed, and there's always knocking and conversations going on that I could hear. And the loading dock door is always open and close, opening and closing, and people are coming in and out. So there's obviously people in there. And he talks about what he's doing. It's just exactly the same thing as the contractors are talking about being with the girlfriend, meaning that he's trying to imprint and he logs on and he tries to rape. Now, I shield. See this here? This is only one way I shield myself. Magnets, steel, that aluminum netting, much like the one that is on your door, the screens of the door, on the outside door. And copper. So and even mirrors, because sometimes lasers are used. And how do I know that? When the microwave shielding do not work, then obviously, and you're getting a burning sensation, then microwaves is not the source. I will try a mirror, and if the mirror works, then you know that the laser is being used. These people mean business. They mean business. It's huge, huge, huge money. And a whole lot of rich, very powerful people are taking part in this program to customize children. They start with the kids. I'm 60 years old and they're still trying it on me. Can you imagine? They actually start with the children, babies. They start with the kids. So the people who are doing it to me are also doing it to kids. Because the people who are doing this to me are sexual addicts, they're rapists, they're sexual predators. And if they're openly doing it to me, then obviously it's fixed. And if it's fixed, then it's fixed for children as well. Because they could do it to the kids and nobody would do anything to them, because the people who are involved in fixing it with me are also involved in fixing it with the kids. Training are much better when it starts early. It's the kids that they're really after. So there is no emergency. My blood pressure is, given the circumstances, normal. And anybody who's calling the cops saying, come pick me up, is obviously lying. So talk to you another time.